And hello and welcome back for Cavemen Podcast. Ullum. Ullum manna guest speċjali all the way mill-iktar sektor li jinteressani u joġobni ġewwa pajjiżna li hija s-sektor tal-arti. U dħalt fija din is-sektor u ġejt interessat ħafna. Meta bdejt ningħaqad ma' n-nies tal-Malta Comic Con u l-Wicked Comics u f'waħda mill-events li ħadd ħsieb minnaħa ta' aspett ta' media, iltqajt ma' xi ħadd li kellu quite a refined perspective u kellu tipo ta' touch fl-arti tiegħu li laqtitni ħafna. Llum għandna l-Peter Magro. U waħda mill-iktar xogħlijiet tiegħek li toġobni hija Energy Quest. It has quite a fucking unique.
Thank you.
Kif taqbad?
Lorna, thanks for having me.
It's fucking amazing.
Thanks for having me. I don't know. But you're talking about style, I suppose.
Stylization, kollox. I can see where you draw your inspiration from.
Try and guess.
Guessing from your work. And so artisti oħra u all that stuff. I think l-ambientalizmu naħseb it plays a very important role in your work, and I can see that. I can feel that. Ġifieri naħseb from my perspective, I think you do it quite well.
Thank you.
Ġifieri, it evokes a kind of feeling li mhux ħafna arti hija kapaċi tagħmilha. Qed tifhem issa jew għax jiena I am who I am, però
No, Ara, I kind of, first of all, I'll speak about the themes. So the themes, you're right. I mean, obviously, there is an environmental theme going on. I don't like to put it on the nose. The fact it's not the main preachy thing that I don't like to kind of say, okay, this is about the environment, just about the environment, this is what you need to do. No, it's just about the setting. The setting is enough. So the story within the setting is what interests me. So basically, I still have, this affinity towards a cleaner environment where, in a sense, we can improve more. But obviously, the story takes a different turn where we kind of screwed it up. So that's. But it's just, again, it's not meant to be the whole theme and trying to tell people how to. But it's mostly happening there if, let's say, something goes wrong. And the last thing that. So I like George Carlin. I'm a big fan of George Carlin. And something kind of hit me when he said, the last thing we'll leave is plastic as human species, which is interesting. Which I've just learned recently is an organic thing in a scientific term, so it kind of blew my mind. But still, it takes long to degrade and all that stuff. So, and I said, well, technically speaking, what would come after us if we all had to just disappear? And basically and coincidentally, the whole AI explosion kind of didn't start when I started Energy Quest, but I kind of assumed that, without taking all the credit, by the way, of this happening, but I kind of said, okay, maybe as things are going, it probably would be like computer and technology and artificial intelligence that would kind of take the place of the apex predator of the world, and especially I don't really kind of emphasize of how humans disappeared. That's towards later issues.
It's not a spoon-feedy kind of story.
No,
so
I don't want
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Mux kulħadd jara ħajek fl-istess.
I was hoping you'd say that because I don't want it to be easy to read out. Because I don't want to be this kind of presumptuous kind of person who says, listen, it's so cryptic that you have to understand. It's not that kind of thing either. But I still wanted to kind of build up and let the reader and viewer, enjoy it as issues go by. And every issue, there's going to be a bit more information thrown in there as well.
Exactly. I like the way it's going because, as I said, I tend to hate the Hollywood kind of influence and stuff where every iteration of anything you have to give an explanation of how the story is going to evolve, how the story started.
Yeah.
Like
It's again,
it's the case of Spider-Man, for example. We have to show how Uncle Ben died, how he got the fucking powers. Yeah, we've been.
But then on the other flip side, you remove Uncle Ben, which is integral to who he is.
I think that after 25 years, I don't think you need to fucking tell me that he died. And
yeah, fair enough.
You're wasting the whole first Origins movie explaining just that. And when you have a good story to tell, I think
I hope so.
You don't need to go so much into details that don't really matter.
Look, when you take something simple like Star Wars, it's for me, it's a simple story. It's the hero's journey, which kind of takes off a farm boy becoming something more that he's supposed to become, and then he becomes the hero of the story again. But it starts off in the middle of this whole chaotic rebel war against an empire. You don't need to know how it started. We got that later because people, obviously, Hollywood likes to milk things, and people want to know more as well. But when we're thrown into that story, this is the idea of how I throw the character in. He's just there. It's a survival story.
Exactly.
And I'm a big fan of the whole Dollars trilogy. So you're just thrown in there where you have Clint Eastwood's character. You don't know who he is or what his name is, and basically it's just the story happening, what you presented.
Exactly.
And that's perhaps what every issue is meant to kind of be until it builds up to something more. Yeah.
Yeah. When you create your work and you try to create a balance between education and engagement. Yeah. How do you go through that process? How do you manage to do it? Because
it's not easy.
It's not easy because you do the entire thing from top to bottom. So it's not something that in the industry, when you look at
no, of course not.
Comics.
Yeah, of course not. We don't have any comic companies working on that kind of stuff in Malta.
Exactly.
So usually, I try to collaborate. So, for example, Eric Leon did the cover for the last one. Brilliant cover, amazing. It elevates the comic. So I think it's good to kind of throw yourself out there to get people to collaborate, because collaboration is going to just enhance things. But when coming up with the story and trying to find that balance of meaningfulness and entertainment, it has to entertain. Because, again, we were talking about Hollywood films where we kind of tend to, there's this pounding of this message, of this whole idea of telling us, listen, it's wrong. I don't want to tell people what is wrong or what is right. They can, everyone is an adult to understand and hopefully guess for themselves. But I just want to make it also at the same time so the themes are subtle, I hope, or at least if they're on the nose, it's just in the background. Such as the environment thing, but then we have the survivor story, which we want to, come on, let's go on with this and just see what happens to this character. And the character also has to have this kind of, affinity towards him, in the sense if this is a robot teddy bear, his name is Zero, basically he's all stitched up, and the idea, because in the story it means something, but in my head it meant something else creating the character. So obviously, sometimes it's kind of reverse engineered when I come up with something, and then you kind of have to say, okay, but that's for me, and that's for the audience. Coming up with Zero, why he's all stitched up is it's a representation of how we grow. So let's say this is a toy teddy bear that has just outlived humans in the post-apocalyptic wasteland, and he's just surviving on batteries. So that's the whole premise. It's very simple. But at the same time, this guy has all these stitches, and he kind of represents the clean slate of how we start off as very innocent, and then we start to go through life, and life is so,
and everything leaves its marks on
everything, and he starts to fix himself, he tweaks himself, and he gets better, and he upgrades. But it's through a survival story, and I think everyone has this kind of survival story going on for them.
Love it. I love the premise. I love the way you think. You mentioned AI. It's rapidly becoming not just a tool in just the creative process of things. It's just taking over at the end of the day. Yeah. Do you think it's a threat, or do you think you can use it to improve your work? Or
definitely, yeah. But in a sense,
is it going to ruin the traditional way we do things?
I keep, people tell me this, and I kind of always come to the answer that I don't think it will. First of all, if I bring the context back to the story, so we have the story of Zero, who's also AI, and then you have the story of the AI, which is the malevolent all-knowing, godlike AI running after him, chasing him, whatever. But there's a duality to this, such as there's a duality to human nature. And I think it all comes down to human nature. So if there's AI being used for good, it's down to human nature. If it's AI being used for wrong things, it's still down to human nature. It depends what we teach it.
It is. But don't you think we're really becoming lazy?
Oh, yeah. No, I have no doubt. That is true. I feel that we're getting used to this stuff and getting acquainted with stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the next generation will have a tough time to
unless they are not
get
even
their
aware of
footing
it.
in.
I mean, would they even be? So let's talk about generations if they're aware of this or not. And you know, such as I was lucky enough to kind of be the generation where internet kind of and the computers became the norm. And but before simple projects, whatever, we had to do photocopies, research books. So I remember that time as well. And then I remember when going to school, I no smart, don't Google this. On Google is not everything. So it's very parallel to what we were doing in our time. But nowadays, the generation after me, they can't imagine a world without Google. So let's say there's a few generations down the line, they can't imagine a world without AI.
Yeah.
And I think they wouldn't even need to even question how life would be without it. We would definitely see it because we're the old guard now. I guess, I mean, things are moving so fast that, unless you kind of accept it or in a sense use a certain tool. Now, I don't say tool as in do my job. I enjoy doing comics. So there's no use of me
using AI
completely to AI. I know people who use it as an experimental tool. That's fine. As you said, the problem is when you get lazy.
Yeah. Because I can see it helping you, for example, to do the storyboard, but then the actual artwork, you just process it differently and you do it actually yourself. But I have seen even in the last iteration of Malta Comic Con, there were people actually selling fucking AI pictures.
Yeah.
What's the fucking point? This is a celebration of art and the artistry.
I think it's a
Why are you selling me
of,
something that's so soulless?
It's a celebration of money now.
It is.
It's not a celebration because I see art as value, but it depends on what you value. So if you value doing your art and improving art, that's one thing. Then valuing money and trying to just make a quick buck out of something that you haven't done, there's no pride in that, I feel. But if you want to sell it, I mean, do it for yourself to practice and research. No problem. I have no problem with that. But if you're trying to sell it, I think kind of you're going to find this, just like copy artists and people who trace, and it's been happening for years. So I don't really feel threatened by it, but I think it's good that we're kind of aware of it.
But do you think it should be at the Malta Comic Con or
the Malta Comic Con
places like the Malta Comic Con? Should it be there? For example, because this is a tough question that has arose in several.
Yeah, and if I say something wrong, someone's going to call for my head anyway.
It's nice to generate that kind of.
What?
It's nice to generate that kind of virality.
Yeah,
I mean, because
it is.
People will agree.
The romantic in me doesn't want it there.
Yeah.
Because I think that it goes against romantically speaking. In the art sense, I'm not the logic sense. The logic sense is it's going to be there because
there's no way
around this. It's there,
and there's no way in which any organizer, anyone can fucking tackle it.
How can an organizer kind of find out? You're asking an organizer. So let's say there's Comic-Con want to organize, and you're telling them to vet every single work from every artist. And there are hundreds. I mean tens of artists. That means that there are foreign ones as well. Yeah, I mean, sure. I think nowadays they learn from what the past happenings. I wouldn't even call them mistakes. I think they weren't even aware of it. Look, these things happen because even working with, if you're doing an art competition, now you have to specify. Why? Because at one point you didn't need to specify, but now you need to specify. And at a certain point, it depends on the consumer. So if the consumer wants to buy, now this is very similar to Catalan's banana sticking on the wall, that art piece where people were all crazy about it.
That's just money fucking laundering.
But that's okay. But someone bought it. The point is, if someone buys that, if someone's offering to buy it, you put it on the wall. You can put it there and put it up at 7 million, 10 million, whatever. If someone's crazy enough to buy this, you're going to do it. And the same thing happens if you're going to put something in AI. It depends on the consumer. If the consumer is going to buy it, I mean, we have, this whole series with the toast going on right now.
Yeah, true.
So true. I mean, I don't blame the seller. I mean, he's going to do what he's going to do. But people, who tend to, buy it is just because they can. And if they're going to buy it, and nothing, against anyone who wants it, you want to do it, it's a free world, do it.
Yeah, it's your money. I can agree with that. It's going to be, I don't believe there is any fucking way that any organizer can tackle this.
No. I mean, you can try, but
it will be impossible. Because even if I ask you, you're going to take part in Comic-Con this year, show me what art you're going to sell. And then you tell me this is okay. The Comic-Con arrives and you get another set of portfolio created.
Yeah. And also,
they won't be able to control
it. In some cases, AI is getting so good as well. It's going to be even harder to recognize.
Look, in 1 year, I think Sora went from weird to fucking I can't really tell if this is a real video or not.
Yeah.
So
the videos are crazy. Yeah?
The videos are
crazy.
And it's
entertaining, but
it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. And from my perspective, from a video point of view, it's worrying.
Does it make your life easier in that case?
I don't know. I'm not even sure what's going to happen. Because if you tell me, like, for example, if there's a particular brand, locally or foreign, that they need an advertisement and they can do it through a prompt, they don't really need me. They don't really need my cameras.
I don't completely agree with you on that. Because at the end of the day, if you can't teach aesthetics to a machine. So let's say...
someone needs to put in the prompt.
Definitely,
I can agree.
Yes,
I
because
agree.
you need to understand what you want from it. Because if you're getting someone who's just, okay, I want a poster done in AI. But then, it doesn't mean it will work. Sometimes the compositioning is all completely off. And people will start to say, it doesn't, people will understand visual language goes beyond just a flower or whatever. It goes about the whole time.
There is still something, especially with the pictures. There's still something in AI that tells you it's AI. And I cannot fucking understand it, but it's either it's
soft,
behind
soft brush kind of effect.
I don't know. I think it's our brain telling us, like, it's uncanny valley.
It is
uncanny valley. It's just our brain telling us that's not really what you're looking at. So. For now.
or maybe that's as far as it goes. I don't know. I mean, I can't really, but the point is, from a business perspective, it's troubling. Yes. But if we're going to talk about doing stories and art, and we're going to talk about creating your own, because this will also push artists to start doing more original stuff, I feel. Especially if it's, I hope it would, because
I hope
prompt people to
unless they give up.
I wouldn't give up. I mean, I don't give up.
The only aspect where I see AI working is the only way that it made headlines lately, because the Brutalists used AI to improve Adrian Brody's Hungarian accent, because it wasn't good enough. I don't mind that, because it's not. It's a tool. Yeah, you're doing something that didn't.
What pisses me off, however, with AI. The thing is that's great, but then it's somehow they go for these kind of. So AI was meant to kind of make everyone's life easier. So why are they going after the arts? So that's the first thing
why the fuck am I going to work? Basically.
No, they're going after the arts, and they're kind of saying, haha, there's a bit of a Schadenfreude in there, kind of saying, oh, you see, I can do it too. And that's the part I don't understand or don't like that much about it.
The thing is, it might be because that's the main focus in the general social media. Why isn't the meaning job, the shit that we don't want to do? Yeah. Why isn't that done by AI?
Yeah,
and we're leaving the stuff that we want to do.
There's no robot doing dishes right now, so that would be great.
Exactly. I would want that. Anyway, I have a couple of questions, but I think it would be more hilarious if we do it over some spicy food.
Okay.
So now is the time to go for Taste This. Matt, it's not a Sarian
Very
podcast.
ominous. Very ominous.
And welcome back. Dan huwa Taste This. U challenge ġa tafu kif inhu. So, għawek għanna 4 cheese balls imorru from mild to super spicy. Diġa d-dinkwiet, għax dejjem jinniblaħħom, whatever. So we spin the bottle and whoever gets the tip of the bottle goes first. But we alternate. Lajjen, laqasemt ma nafu xinu ma s-sauces. Pero biex ntik a brief description, the mildest one is it's a Croatian, very good and very tasty hot sauce. Very low on the Scoville units, it's 5,000 Scovilles. Then we go to a pineapple habanero sauce. Dan iġibu for hot ones.
What is it?
I have no fucking idea. Da jmur għal 12,000 Scoville units. Unbat immorru għal an award-winning Dutch hot sauce li huwa infused in whiskey bil-habanero smoked chipotle. Dak jgħat 40,000 Scoville. Unbat immorru għal-ektar ħaġa painful u blatu għamaljaw. Li hija the bomb. It's basically the taste is just pain. Nice. That's 135,600 Scoville units. So
you know this by heart.
Yeah. Yeah. The job lajta. The bomb the job lajta u ħassejta kullin kien. Bdejt noroq minn postijiet li qatt ma immaġinajt li ħanoroq minnhom. So that says a lot. So, would you care to spin the bottle?
Okay.
Let's
Here
go.
we go. I'm not going to drop this, right?
No. Fuck you. And
Another one?
And
It's in me?
Fidek. So.
Okay.
Si. Aqbatu blaħħa għaw one bite. Holy Ghost, the mildest one. That's nice. Għandak ċirri tomata tal-ġen.
Very nice. Just the thing is like,
Gonna go with this. Tajjeb damma. Rainmaker. Okay. Heat enhancer. Oh. Good kick to it. Pero għandu toma tajba. Għalla tiġaw nidras.
can you ask questions? Are you capable?
I'm not a set. I'm not set. Mela, graphic novels. Sorry. Graphic Novels Library Malta. Ġit fidejk issa.
Yeah.
So, kif qed tara ħadd evolvi biż-żmien and hemm xi kollaborazzjonijiet moħħok ma' xi events, ma' xi entitajiet oħra, ma' xi talenti lokali.
So it's an NGO based on at least bridging gaps, I feel, in the comic, in the comic community. So the idea is that it's always trying to find young talent and trying to bring them to writers. But most importantly is that we work very well with Wicked Comics from Comic-Con, and we kind of collaborate in that sense. It's a very small NGO. It's just an idea of, again, people usually start from the idea of people asking, listen, I need a writer, I need an artist. And because we kind of have a bit of a database, we can kind of connect them and kind of be the middleman in this sense. It starts off being as an NGO which brings comics and graphic novels to the library. We're still trying to do that. Obviously, we're trying to brush things up, and we just had a course. We give courses during summer as well, and to adolescents, and sometimes we tried with adults this year. And we're always trying to bring up new talent, or at least people who are interested into the fold. Because, when I started, it was nothing. We didn't have any idea of how to start, so we just drew comics. It didn't mean that we drew comics well. The first comics, when I started was, when the first idea of a comic that I ever drew was when I was like 7 because I used to read Beano's, but it's shit.
I mean, Beano is shit, to be honest.
There's a fun aspect to it, but mine was definitely shit. And but the point is that but the love started from there. Then obviously you start to improve, you start to understand how narrative goes on and how one box and one panel leads to the next. And really, I mean, the point was that I try to make sure that there is a generation that can find, a springboard. So that's the idea of what the NGO is meant to be. It's not meant to be this always ongoing. We're not as active as Wicked Comics, and thank God for them, because they're really doing a great job. And but we're just there to kind of support that. That's it.
It's a good thing. It's a good initiative, and I think there is the space for it on the island, I think.
Yeah, there is. There's lots of talent. And there's lots of
uncapped talent.
And it's very hidden. It's, people, especially, I'm still surprised how people just ask me, listen, there's a Comic-Con. Yeah, of course there's a Comic-Con. It's been going on for over 10 years at this point. But at least, before they enter the Comic-Con, like, listen, I'm interested in doing comics. I'm interested in writing. So yeah, we're just there to kind of bridge that gap.
And do you think it will evolve in a very positive way? In Malta, especially?
I think we have to realize what is parochial and what is professional at this point. So there is, a thought process behind it. So a lot of times we tend to just stop somewhere and say, listen, I did a comic. And unfortunately, in Malta, we don't have enough critics to kind of say, listen, this is good, but you can improve. So I make it a point to, whenever I go to Comic-Con, or at least for foreign artists, and critics as well, you go and ask
them to learn from the best, the very best.
Of course, we're still a growing country, and definitely there is space where we can get there. So,
but I think the younger people who are trying to get in this, I think they're too, and I might be.
They get offended easily, yeah.
Yeah, they're too soft. I think they're too soft, and they don't take criticism to the next step. Like,
that's unfortunate.
Listen, and we have a problem in Malta. If you want to do a comic, we explained this before. We are expected that since we are limited, you have to go through the storyboarding, the sketching, the coloring. You have to do everything up to the publishing.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before, because we're not like we're a one-man show.
Exactly. So
yeah,
there is bound for you to be shit at least one aspect.
Yeah.
Listen, the story was good, but your coloring was crap.
But then in that case, outsource. There are
exactly.
There are a lot of great illustrators.
But not a lot of people, especially the younger ones, don't really understand that concept.
Well, then
they feel like they're entitled to very critics. Positive.
That's why we need critics, and
exactly.
That's why people, even if people get offended or not, we still need them. And I need my work to be criticized. I want my work criticized.
I think that's the best way for you to elevate your work.
Of course, there's no other way. Because people, it's like, nanna, toqta li kemm bravo, għal xej.
It's useless. Għanda l-ħar question, naqadib. Pero, let's go. Xaħat ħajkollu the easiest one, mu xaħat ħajerdaw. And I have a very strong suspicion li ħanerdaw. So, it's your turn.
My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not seeing that much sauce on this one, so I guess, it's just transparent.
So, go for it. Check. Heartbeat, pineapple, habanero. That's the second. So it's tasty. It's very fucking good. I love it. I've
got a name to it, but.
So this means we ain't applied the ball.
Sorry about. I'm sorry. It's better you than me, though.
Fajsu l-għazgħet. Okay. Għalek daħħejtajni. Għattu l-qastra wahda. Xekkot mal-fog machine. Why not? Oh! Li kuku kellek taħdem ma kittieb. Jew artist fuq graphic novel. Jista' jkun għadu magħna jew le. Lil min tażel u fuq ix tkun istorja.
Ħajja u mejjed?
Ħajja u mejjed, whatever it is.
No, man.
Writer jew artist. Taħdem fuq graphic novel.
You know, as a... What have you done?
My God. Yep.
Are you okay? No, as an art.
Ġiġani taħt-ġirja. Jek nimfara ċidu li, man, what the fuck? Yes?
So I think as an artist, I'm a big fan of Mike Mignola, big fan, and I would work with him for just the sake of learning from him. And the idea of contrasts and shades, you know, that would be wonderful to kind of take cues of and really master. So definitely as an artist, even just as a co-artist, would be lovely to work with someone like that. He's still alive, by the way. As a writer.
U xfuq ix ħatkun l-istorja?
Well, you know,
So the writer...
I always like Eldritch horror. So probably it would be a complete turn from the whole post-apocalyptic thing to Eldritch, kind of Eldritch horror. And obviously, again, I'm a big fan of Hellboy and Mike Mignola's work. And in that sense, I think it would be that. And he writes stories as well. So in a sense, it counts as a writer.
Tayyab.
Yeah.
Tayyab. I'm happy with your choice. I mean,
I like the blockiness of and there's a certain skill in that. I mean, it looks simple, but the simplicity, there's a lot of skill in that, and especially when you have these.
I mean,
shadows and
his work.
His
work speaks for itself.
Amazing.
So
amazing, especially when
I could see it work between you two. Though.
Yeah, really. That's a compliment. Thank you. Because for me, I mean, he's one of my favorite. You know, his works are both visually and to read. Some of his, I mean, just easy for me to read and go through and just take cues of it. And even, for example, something as simple as text imaging. So I think something like that I could definitely learn from.
I'm sweating a lot. Feel like I need a shower. I'm hearing the spices at this point and I'm so confused. Ma sabda li tħost meta jkollok id-demenzja. Ma toħroġ mixja ma jsibek ħadd. I'm fucking head. Jien għattilkom qatra waħda. Tidu titfaw li. I hate you. I hate you for this. Do you think after Brexit, because I think it was amplified by Brexit, the comic industry locally has diminished to a point that it's dying out?
I mean, people reading comics.
Yeah. Because I can speak from a perspective of I know people who used to import comics and sell them comics, and since Diamond Publishing were based in the UK, after Brexit happened, became too fucking expensive because comics went from costing 3, 4, 5 euros. Now it's become
that's everything though.
For one single issue. But with Brexit, it became fucking 12 euros for one issue.
It's sad because we started off most comics from Britain, and when we got, you know, again. True. But I think people in general have kind of not people. Many people are reading anyway, because we've got. I mean, nowadays even as simple as chat, people send voice message. Is the natural?
I think it is the natural evolution. I think it's becoming so bad, and I think this fact was the final nail in the coffin for comics, both locally and in Europe.
But there are digital comics as well. But I mean,
no one gives
it's not the same.
It's not. Yeah. No one gives a shit.
It's not.
It's the whole reason why vinyl and cassettes are getting a rebirth. Because people don't give a shit about digital.
But
Me included.
same
Me
way.
included. I don't buy
Yeah.
digital.
No, I buy
music.
books. I definitely know. I prefer.
I wouldn't buy digital anything.
But I think in the sense, I mean, you said okay, still After Effects. No, but I don't think it's people read because in a sense they have it's become more niche. I think, especially comics were already niche to a certain extent.
Now it's closing.
And now it's closing fair because now we're basing everything on video and moving images. Do I think it will, have a comeback? I hope so. But I mean, I can't really tell because vinyls came back and cassettes came back. CDs didn't. At this point.
No one wants a CD.
No one wants a CD anymore. I like it, but you can never know. I mean, it's again ultimately, it's a difficult question to answer. To be fair, but
It is.
It's a good question.
It is.
But because I can't really tell. But
personally, I feel that the comic age has come to an end locally, and I think it's partly because the MCU and DCEU.
I was going to mention something similar to that. That the movies kind of killed the whole origin. Because I prefer comic origin stuff, but when it comes down to this, the way to save it is if we have people interested in making them.
Yep.
And then if we have this localized, I mean, I don't tend to like to think just local. We can go beyond just local. I think if we try to export our work and have a bit more pride in it, would be great. But if we tend to kind of create something because we like it, I think people just read it because they like it.
Yeah.
That's a perfect closing line for it.
Yeah, I think so. That's the perfect closing to this episode. Thank you, Peter, for joining us. I hope we meet again.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hopefully I won't get to eat the bomb again.
No competition though, huh?
But I'm the one who's suffering every single bloody time. Anyway, I think now we're moving on to the Geek Out session with myself and Fabio Agius, and today we have a nice, interesting discussion inspired by this interview, the MCU and the DCEU. So,
interesting.
Welcome back. Geek Out episode ieħor, l-lum għanna tema qabel dak għanna interview ma' Peter Magro. Blight spices kollha jien u kellu l-mild u kont ħammut. Issa għanna segment dedikat fuq id-dinja tal-comics, pero in the cinematic universe, in the gaming universe, kullin kien. The MCU against the DCEU. So, fej wasanna kif edin, ma nafx. I mean, at some point, il-Marvel Cinematic Universe kien isu God. Ħadd ma jista' jħabbat miegħu u DC kważi kisru totalment. X'ma ngħidekx kisru għal kollox. Naħseb di Zack Snyder Universe. Spiċċa ħabba fih u ċertu żbalji li ħadu Warner Brothers trying to become as funny as the MCU bil-Justice League. Sa ta' Zack Snyder kien ħafna ħjar minn mill-ieħor, milli kien ħareġ dak iż-żmien. Però still, I think it was a very big missed opportunity. Specifically, ngħidu kif inhi. Minn dak iż-żmien meta kellek il-Henry Cavill bħala Superman, kellek il-Gal Gadot bħala Wonder Woman, kellek pedoflu bħala Flash. Mbagħad kellek lil Ben Affleck bħala Batman li għalija. It was a missed opportunity. Anka l-kostjum ta' Batman u ta' Man of Steel.
Batmobile u l-Batwing.
It was so good. It was such a missed opportunity. U Batman kemm jaqlawlu l-ħara. Ben Affleck. I think it was the best Batman.
Xtort da tixfek kien ħażin. Ma stax nifirma
ħara. U tant qalawlu l-ħara fuqha.
U għet mill-ħajar, per eżempju, Bruce Wayne, rajt, jena George Clooney. Imma għal-madu fil-film u għek nsemmuħ f'wed mill-ar sequels.
Vera.
Ġifiri, tibda minn emara, per eżempju, id-DC fil-ċinematografija fil-70s, 80s kienu b'saħħithom ħafna. Kellek Superman ta' Christopher Reeve u Batman ta' Tim Burton u da. U bad jisu kalma kollox. U Marvel dizastru kien, jien niftakar preżimaw film ta' Spider-Man l-antiki. Li ispiraw ħafna lil-Japanese Spider-Man. Li huwa official Marvel dak Japanese Spider-Man, ġifieri. Niftakarom sinema, niftakar narax sinema, ġifieri dak ta' Spider-Man.
Ma nalija kellhom xi ħaġa ta' Fantastic Four.
Qatt ma ħareġ dak.
Qabel
1990 dak, qatt ma ħareġ.
Disaster.
Kienu mhux ħażin, mhux ħażin, kienu fuq id-DC bħala films, u mbagħad ishom battew, ishom kollox. U mbagħad kellek il-films, jiena għalija il-comic book movies, kienu diġà ħarġu X-Men u Daredevil, l-antiki ta' Ben Affleck li huwa fih ħafna, imma mhux ħażin daqs il-Marvel tal-lum.
Eżatt.
Imma li ta' spin tal-qudiem għalija huwa Spider-Man ta' Sam Raimi.
True.
Dak li beda illallu li Hollywood għamlet waħdek ħarset għamlet ħares li superhero movies.
Eżatt.
U Disney ovvjament rat ma taqla l-flus.
L-X-Men ġifieri minnaħa ta' Fox, min vera Sam Raimi kien l-snowball li kollox.
Ħaġa shocking, shocking tiġillu. Id-Disney xtraw lil Marvel għax qabel Disney kellhom il-market tal-girls. Princesses, kollox cute, kollox peachy u rosa, etc. Xtraw il-Marvel biex ikollhom il-market tal-boys, il-superheroes. Mentre l-om il-ġurnata, il-superheroes irġil kollha qalbuhom nisa. Qed jaqlbuhom nisa. Il-loġika.
Imma mbagħad ħanejn.
Tagħhom stess qed imorru kontrija.
Imma huma ta' xjami, huma xtraw dak it-tip ta' licensing. Biex ikollhom xi bieħu dal-imbarazz tal-iskola, toys u hekk. Dawk it-toys kollha baqgħu. Boys. Huma qalbu biss fil-film just to create.
Imma għalfejn xtrajt IP illi hija immirata mostly għal boys, mostly. Ma mhux ikun hemm xi ħadd. Jobhom ukoll. Li hemm mostly għal boys. U bad taqliba li tagħmlhom għal girls ukoll. Għax in-nisa b'saħħithom li mind you, in-nisa b'saħħithom ilhom jeżistu hemmhekk ġifieri fil-films. Mill-70s.
Shit.
Għamilt assignment fuqhom bil-fatt, fuq in-nisa b'saħħithom fil-films. Jena ġifieri, you go back to the 70s, you go back to Dracula, 1897. Meta ħareġ Dracula mina, il-main karakter fil-film, Winona Ryder, kienet mara b'saħħitha ħafna għal dak iż-żmien. Ġifieri jekk id-Disney minn għalihom li ħarġu b'sistema li għax aħna f'ventajna
The Woman Heroine, vera.
Li għad-downfall tagħhom.
Għandek ħafna nisa.
Friday 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Miserable.
The Final Girl jgħidulhom, fil-fatt. Huwa il-fenomenu ta' The Final Girl li tfajla salva fl-aħħar.
Eżatt.
Il-Final Girl.
Fil-horrors. It was fantastic. Ma, fehmni, it's just the market at right now, the current conditions. Tifhem l-atmosfera diki. Ħan kunu kontroversi kemm jista' jkun u jaħammurru.
Ħadd kelmu fuq Disney.
Ma Marvel naħseb kif qed tgħid int dil-marda kollha letteralment kisret
lilhom infushom kisru.
Mhux lilhom fuq kisret fenomenu fiċ-ċinematografija għax qabel fi-żbien fin-90s, late 90s. A big blockbuster x'kien ikun? Sword and Sandal movie.
Eżatt.
Dejjem.
Minn żmien Ben-Hur.
Dak kien ikun il-blockbuster, baqa sejjer to Gladiator, Alexander the Great hemm ħafna. Malli bdow l-MCU, the proper MCU, malli it kicked off with Iron Man, kienu unstoppable. Bidlu x-xena kollha u għada marda sadlum li a blockbuster needs to be a superhero movie. Issa tmut.
Eżatt.
U qatlu għaw ma stess, ġifi.
Eżatt. Nejdlek thank God ta' faċċiex għaxin nħobb il-comics. Għalek, ġidu tħobb il-comics u ma tħobbx superhero movies, ma tħobbx superhero movies ir-reċenti għaxin nħobb il-comics.
Eżatt.
And you're destroying them.
Eżatt.
Ġifieri, le, x'amlu tajjeb il-Marvel Universe fil-bidu? Li kienu faithful as source material.
True.
But tajjemmen, Robert Downey Jr. eżatt,
Tony Stark, eżatt.
Tony Stark eżatt, l-armatura jista' jkun very faithful għal tal-komik, Spider-Man l-istess, għal kemm bidlu xi affarijiet minn Spider-Man. Imma ħan nitkellmu fuq l-MCU ta' Disney. Thor, għal dak il-Chris Hemsworth, Hulk l-istess b'saħħtu dan, Banner Nerd u kollox. U il-fans tajtom xi ħaġa li kon aħna l-fans u n-nerds li konu xi ħaġa li dinna nħolmu meta konna tfal tajtienna. Għandek il-next generation għas jafu x'inhu komik, saru jafu bit-tfajlik kollox, joġobni Thor, ta' joġbok Chris Hemsworth mhux Thor. Imma ħorrejt. Ġifieri inti ġibt New Blood u l-fans ġibtom miegħek.
Eżatt.
Dik li kellek.
Eżatt.
Kellek kollox faithful.
It's weird li tara jispeċċarek, eh? Mumma wara Endgame, they haven't been the same ever again.
Taf ma bada bdew batu ħarira zaħira mawx daqse grafi minn Guardians of the Galaxy. Unajlek għala, Guardians of the Galaxy film kbir, film tajjeb ħafna u komedi tajba ħafna. Abdu, kull film rridu namluħ komedi, daħka xej bxej.
Bħal Thor.
Avengers,
Thor l-one took, they had a very serious tone.
Eżatt.
As with the
Ġiġ
comics.
jokes l-embolaw.
As with the comics.
Avengers l-ewwel wieħed. Avengers l-ewwel wieħed joke waħda fih. Meta ħalk jaqbad il-Loki u jisabtu l-emmolaw. Daqshekk. U kulħadd tisemmija dil-joke. Minn Guardians l-hemm irridu nifqawh bil-jokes film tal-Marvel.
True.
We demasculinize dan għaw il-main superhero namluħ fidil,
Eżatt.
namlu hiblaħ, namlu l-mara li tiħu over. Ġifiri, sejrin ġifiri, kif tafu li wasal Marvel illu.
It is. Anka scripts, they were going down the drain. The CGI. The CGI ma nafx.
Ant-Man.
Biex tiġi tgħid li Godzilla li it's one of the
Minus
best,
one?
One of the best movies li rajda l-aħħar 10 snin.
Naqbel miħok.
Is-CGI tiegħu flawless kwart tal-budget ta' episode fucking wieħed ta' xi Disney Plus series.
Ta' jiġri met. U nasib ħankun naqra żgħira kontroversjali. L-script writers li din joħorġu u n-nies qegħdin joħorġu mill-universitajiet mingħajr ma jkollhom ħafna human interaction, semmina fuq human interaction meta bdejna nsemmu fuq nostalgia. Qed ikunu ħafna script writers li mexux. Tarantino għalfejn tajjeb, għal-moda fi kien jieħu drogi, kien jagħmel man-nies. Ħafna mill-scripts tajbin għax kellhom l-esperjenza. Tim Burton kellu l-esperjenza fl-animation u mbagħad sar director.
True.
Illum director ħax x'id-deriġiet ta' Diakolite? Jiena script writers ta' She-Hulk. Anka tarhom on screen. Tejdi għandha l-problemi. Kif ħadd tagħmel script li reġi? Tibdix titħak. Kif inti ħadd tagħmel l-script li huwa funny?
Kif tgħid li ma lidnu tibdix titħaq statement bħal dak. Fucking so lefty lek.
Kif ħadd tagħmel l-script li huwa funny li huwa kif ħadd tgħallimni? Inti ħadd tgħallimni żagħżugħ ta' 21, 25, 27 sena ħireġ mill-università u ma taf xejn fuq il-ħajja. U dik script mindu ta' blockbuster. L-ewwel m'għandek tibda minn script serious. Tirreb tibda ma' dof ma l-ewwel intu għamu blockbusters il-daw il-nies.
Ma it is the current generation. Ma mhux generation it's the current orbit li jkun għaddej minnu l-film industry. Għax it's always an orbit, dejjem ikun hemm żmien fejn ikun hemm vera tal-ħara, ikun hemm films vera ħażiena, films vera bland. But we go back to it's not a job sensina.
Majdu, għaw talent, il-lost rek għawx talent. Għaw, u jiena doing comico, taf kem nara talent lokali għaw Malta, talent kbir. Imma, sfortunatament, call it nepotism, call it whatever you want.
Nepotism. It is nepotism.
qed intatu jobs lin-nies il-ħżiena. Mhux kont il-meritocracy qed intuhom għax inti qed tittikja li din il-kaxxa għalhekk tajtek script. Mhux għax inti tajjeb.
Which is the downfall of the MCU. Li huwa li
Of Hollywood. Imma ħajdu MCU.
MCU is
We're speaking MCU.
MCU huwa polarizing f'dal-qasam tiġi xtejtli.
Polarizing.
James Gunn li qed jagħmel fid-DCEU. Għalija kemm jaqlawlu l-ħara. I think he's on a good path. Jiena dik il-ħaġa li qabdu jaqlawlu l-ħara għal James Gunn. Għax kien hemm Flash, ħareġ Flash, tipo, isma, vera ħareġ 3 xhur wara li ħaw ver id-DCU. Ma taħseb int li kellox jaqsam magħha. Tipo film taf kemm id-dum.
Flash film ħażinu jidher li mhux ta' James Gunn.
Tara l-film ta' James Gunn tinduna li hemm.
Semmejt ara l-DC issa nerġgħu. I admire the balls on Warner Brothers and DC. Għax jabdu, isma, ħanipruvaw nagħmlu Batgirl. Tant kien ħażin da Batgirl.
Li ma
ħarġuħx. Le Marvel noħorġuħ xorta. Esta la jetem noħorġuħ.
It is weird. To be honest, DCU għandhom l-aqwa IPs u l-iktar li huma magħrufin ma' tfal
30s.
Mal-ġenerazzjonijiet kollha. Issaqsi anyone minn tifel ta' 4 snin sa anzjan ta' 80 sena minnu Superman jew anzi idu nsemmili superhero Batman jew Superman isemmulek jew l-iktar Spider-Man. Ħadd ma ħajsemmi l-aktor Captain America. Forget it, man. Dawk huma.
Jew Mystic ta' DC.
Dawk ħajsemmulek and it's so iconic. Tant għandhom IP tajba li kulħadd jaf li True Generations bdejna bit-Tim Burton movies, anka Diet and West series. Jekk tara Batman, ħadd taraħ. No, Joe Schumacher, rajtom għal-madu cinema, jgħid li z-zobdak tkun infaq xi 10 euro fuq biljed. Cinema.
Kull ma joħroġ Batman u Spider-Man ħanaraħ, anke kienu ħażin. Per eżempju, Spider-Man ta' Tom Holland. Tom Holland joġobni pala Peter Parker, imma dejjem il-cringy ħafna. Il-casting ħażin ħafna. Wieħed bistoġobni l-Vulture għamlu l-Keaton. Dik il-bqija l-casting ħażin ħafna. Ħafna ħażin.
U controversial statement tiegħi Spider-Man 3. I think naħseb kien popolari u ħafna nies jaħsbu li kien film tajjeb, just għax kien hemm Andrew Garfield u Tobey Maguire fih.
100%.
Il-bqija it was a garbage movie.
Spider-Man l-aħħar wieħed home something għax kollha home decorations kollha semmew.
It-tielet wieħed. I mean
le, għalek biss.
Għalek payoff, għas il-ġlieda tal-aħħar there was no payoff, immaġina ta' 3 Spider-Man. There's no payoff battle tipo għal Avengers l-ewwel wieħed. There's no payoff. 5 minutes? Sus nostalgia, jien ħad pjaċir.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
U Tobey Maguire.
Oh, daqsek. Issa, Miles Morales mux sabiħ, Spider-Man ta' Miles Morales. Tejġ kemm inħobbu. Għax jiena ma t-tirabulek.
Dik xaħġa. Diħan semmijilek. ħafna minn nies jgħidu kemm niddejjaqħaw inti razzist. Għax.
Kosja qed tirabulek dil-karta.
Għax inti qed tiddejjaq li qalbulek karattru into either Asian or black or whatever you want to call it. Le, it's not the point. Jekk Peter Parker kien jew jekk Hercules kien Greek, that is his story. Per eżempju, għalfej Disney mamlux a live action of Tiana, li hija a very, very well-known black princess, li kien hemm dak il-cultural heritage fl-Amerika. Because it's not controversial, it's not vital enough. Miles Morales, wieħed mill-iktar comics u karattri favoriti tiegħi men. It-tifel iffissat fuqu ma jarax għax black u għax white. They don't care. Istorja tajba. U Miles Morales jeżisti in a universe where Peter Parker dies and there needs to be someone else who rises up to the task. U fucking dik istorja għalija, it's brilliant, man. Brilliant.
Naqbel miegħek 200%.
L-animation waħed mill-aqwa animation saqat saru għalija very, very ek. Anka l-arti tiegħu inspiring.
Għalkemm pereżempju t-tieni wieħed għalkemm li huwa visually stunning. Preferejt l-ewwel waħda li bdietu spiċċat l-istorja, issa tiġib li T-Rex Spider-Man u Indian Spider-Man u.
It is. Però ħanejlek jien kont rajt il-comics Spider-Man. Plural.
Emien.
The-universes, they are endless. So hemm ħafna stayers bih, it's so expansive and it's good. It's good. I think Miles Morales wieħed mill-aqwa karattri li actually tista' fucking tagħmel storja sura jekk trid bih mingħajr ma kif qed jagħmlu bil-Spider-Man animation tal-lum li ħareġ daħħar Disney. Nbidlu l-karattri għandek storja bħal dik għamel animation fuq u literalment taw ħafna fanbase kbira jixtiequ jaraw il-iktar minn Miles Morales.
Il-failsafe u l-failsafe tal-lum. Għax it's Peter Parker in another universe. Dik hija oħra li rrid insemmilek id-downfall tal-Marvel. Il-multiverse. Mhux il-multiverse. Il-multiverse. Taf xini? U li għata kax universi iħor. Nsibu skuza jek, 100 karattru, issa nġibuħom universi iħor. Ġej Tony Stark, Dr. Doom. Nanu mħatra jew Tony Stark minn universi iħor.
Mux hekk.
Kollax, għax dak universi iħor, u għara universi iħor dak teħx kem. Mejlu bijom South Park, Kien hemm Randy bada jmurġu multiverse. Oh, my pants change color to green, now they are chicken. Tmur universi iħor kollox l-istess. Kollox l-istess univers ieħor. Imma kun hemm Spider-Man ieħor u nġibu fl-univers tagħna. Din ħafna u only witches. L-univers il-propja, xem the sacred timeline. Li għalfej għandi noqtol il-Spider-Man mill-univers ieħor biex nġibu ftija. Jien min jien. Fimċini. Spider-Man miet fl-univers ieħor.
I don't understand it, naħseb at this point laqas huma stess ta' I mean, indunaw li wara Endgame ma kien hemmx suċċess mingħajr di iconic people tipo Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, so they are trying everything. Qabel ma jere il-vapur, nippruvaw naqbdu ma m'hemmx ma xiex naqbdu. Daħat tkun popolari, Robert Downey Jr., Dr. Doom. Lallu, minix ċertik Deadpool u Wolverine u Shredder, mela nitfaw il-Chris Evans. Però bħala del-Human Torch, ma namlux bħala Captain America, ma nitfawx.
They don't get it. Per eżempju, huma minn għalijom li n-nies iħobbu Robert Downey Jr. Mux iħobbu Robert Downey Jr. don't get me wrong. Mux titfaw doktor. N-nies jgħidu, don Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. Tony Stark. Tazġi ma biex Dr. Doom. Jitnemmen he will nail it ta'
Spiċċaddek istorja daqsek.
Toqtlux, għarfi itiltu. Toqtlux.
Jiena, spoiler, għaddi kontattilkom, għalija ma mlift sens li War Machine, spoiler alert, wara li ħareċ Endgame, iġibu li kien skral, ġifiri at any point in time, sa ta' jisalva l-Tony Stark, his death, it means nothing. Vija that point, ma tħalċint.
Eżat.
It made no sense. No, his death was pointless.
Ara,
I don't think there's a saving grace. U bħala lob, MC, il-Marvel Universe is shit, il-comics, they are shit as well.
Il-Marvel,
DC,
għamdu daqqalur, jena li qabel ma tkun zaħir Marvel, they were the top comics,
Fl-80s.
Meta tkun zaħir.
Jo forsi early
80s, 70s, 90s kienu
ġabdu għabdu.
But early 2000s, reġaw t-lawel kull film stawu bis-saxħa,
Raġa ma DC, so they're there. U naħseb il-DC Universe, naħseb is gonna be quite good.
Jalla.
Ma ndix dan, għati porajt, ma nafx għala tjaqlaw l-ħara, Superman il-ġit. It looks very, very fucking good. It looks like Superman.
Ma tanċ, għawek forse mux ħanablu.
Għalfej.
L-għonet il-kelb, Krypto, kien ġa cringy fil-comics, ħaddalu fil-film. Jina l-ek li t-immaġinaħ ta' ma nafxejn, ma naħseb li
jina għalija ma tistax tkun daqsek, kif taqbattejt? Ma tistax tkun daqsek kritiku fuq xaġa li għadna ma rajniex define il-product. Il-nis li jett igordu, per eżempju, il-suit miex sabiħa.
Jidejqitni s-suit u il-color dejaqni. It is baggy.
Ma dejaqnix. Għax Christopher Reeves.
Karket għamlu lo xaru bħal ovvjament illum xaru tal-pasta.
Christopher Reeves, man, ma kienx ikollu xi muscles tipo Henry Cavill. Alright, Henry Cavill kien sabu.
Le.
Ma ta' Christopher Reeves kienet tipo ta'
Christopher Reeves kien jgħid meta ħareġ Batman l-ewwel wieħed, kien jgħid l-ostra illum tagħmlu suits bir-raber kemm kont immur il-ġim jiena nitrenja to pump up for the road.
Għalija suit derisa, evem. Ifakkarni fi żmien ta' Christopher Reeves. Bispendex, tipo ma tidirx eżaġerat.
Illum kulħadd jikkritika mit-trailer ta' tiġanżel film jibdaw.
Eżatt, tipo anka kritikaw il-flight. Alright, edit bil-forsi otek. Elon Musk għamela uġi fi trouble.
Mind you, rajta sekwenza ta' Elon Musk, tipo, marriċ naħmel l-għalba mux.
Le, jek tamela, jek t-dija, tamela sanjera ma ċaġarżin, I mean.
Le, jina li għama meċeħat, it wasn't that kind of salute.
I think.
Ġint, nista nolli jidi jena, u jħdu li retartina u nolli jidi, etna jgħat taxi. I'm hailing a taxi.
I mean.
Ejdora Fabio.
It is hailing.
Ismani.
Ma naħseb.
Mux għed nista.
Rinkin.
Jena, per eżempju. Jena Elon Musk, ġvir bnidem. Jibbuttani.
Konta fl-der fireman.
Xinu?
Konta fl-der fireman.
Ija, mela.
Fez minn li tipo ħat ma kien jaf minnem.
Uġe, għasma, kena Trump Home Alone.
Iconic. Dika diskussjoni li rrit nejda. Ma semmejtix fil-sequels, għax mi xaġa tal-milit, ma Home Alone 2, għahjem Home Alone 1. Naħseb ħabba Trump u għaxem Piers Morgan fih, u koll.
Xalejlek.
Pigeon Woman.
U xismu għaw. U Tim Curry. Fittu.
Dispjaċini narax kif spiċċalli.
Madonna.
Taħ stroke da u.
Miski. Le, ne preferi l-għu, għax jizzamu għad kiku kull social worker naħdu l-attifel. Ek nispiċċaħu bil-awtu. Li drat li ftit tifel it-tini darba, tiju li għam. Għed fokka l-adoption. Ma terġet it-tifel it-tini darba, ma kifel, u bew, subiki, u rridu natu talima tajtni. You're a bad mother, dik it-talima, you're a bad mother, u titlef it-tifel darbtej.
Da torzija, jaxġiena. Zjit nibdow b'topik, u jina nitfa xaħġa.
U da sekku t-zirjani li, it's not fair, ta'
Ajma, jena l-għawek. I think the future is bright for DC, in my opinion.
DC.
For the MCU, I think naħseb ħajn bidel kollox.
They have to make a reboot. They have to. They have to reboot the whole universe, naqbdu l-multiverse u narmuħ fi zibel, u namlu reboot.
Bil-bidnis kollox, iketxu staffers li għedin jippuxxaw għal din agenda.
Bil-script writers kollox, bil-executives.
Anka cleaners, mandonx jaqsmu.
Imsiker. Għasil l-kotrejt ħagġa kera ħafna. Imma t-nigdilek wara.
Għaw seguna fuq il-social media tagħna. Għamlu subscribe fuq YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Deezer, għaraw xtużaw. Motuna review meta jkollkom ċans. Ovvjament daw l-affarijiet iż-żar jgħinuna, maħna mux għoddu nitolbukom flus fuq Patreon u daw l-affarijiet, pero li tengagġaw maħna li it means a lot. Thank you ħafna u tuna feedback ta'kom. See you!